The narrative begins, introducing us to Gray Trace, a man working on his vintage vehicle who appears to be a skilled mechanic. Gray's girlfriend, Asha, arrives in a self-driving car, busy with her work. Gray teases her for interacting with the vehicle, but Asha, noting his comment, points out that at least her car is capable of talking back. Asha, who seems to manage their household, uses what appears to be an advanced projection table to check trends, while Gray unwinds with a beer. Gray then asks Asha to join him on his latest delivery run, mentioning the customer's home is a sight to behold. As they drive, the screen displays the breathtaking views of the futuristic city. They arrive at their destination, which is revealed to be an impressive underground structure. They meet the eccentric tech billionaire, Aaron Keane, the owner of Vessel Computers. Asha, impressed, introduces herself and proudly mentions her own company, Cobalt, which specializes in robotic limbs and is a burgeoning competitor to Vessel. Aaron quickly dismisses Cobalt's competition before unveiling his latest invention, STEM. Aaron describes STEM as an all-capable, miniature-sized computer that functions as a superior brain able to drive, communicate, and calculate anything. Aaron suggests the invention would benefit society, but Gray, stuck in his traditional views, expresses skepticism about the technological advancements, worrying that it will lead to unemployment. During the ride home, Asha scolds Gray for being antagonistic toward Aaron, likely their last customer. She notes that Gray is too focused on the past and unable to accept the inevitability of technological takeover. The car's navigation system suddenly announces a detour onto the 601 freeway, directing them toward Gray's old neighborhood, New Crown, which is in the opposite direction from their home. They both order the car to stop, but it refuses to respond. Panic escalates as they realize the emergency brake is disabled, and Asha's attempt to hack the system fails. The car then contacts emergency services just as four masked assailants in another vehicle intercept them. The men drag the couple out of the car. A police drone records the scene from above. Held at gunpoint, Gray surrenders his belongings, but one of the attackers shoots Asha. Gray tries to intervene but is immediately knocked down. An attacker shoots Gray, paralyzing him, leaving him immobilized and forced to watch as Asha is murdered. The police arrive too late. 3 months later, Gray is released from the hospital as a quadriplegic. His home is equipped with various robotic arms and gadgets to assist his daily life, which his mother, Pamela, can also access. Emotionally shattered and physically broken, Gray reaches a breaking point one day and attempts to overdose on his medication using the robotic arms. A safety mechanism prevents the fatal dose, and Gray is rushed to the hospital after passing out. At the hospital, Aaron Keane makes an unexpected visit. Aaron, acknowledging Gray's difficult circumstances, offers a solution to his paralysis, an implant. Aaron explains that since the connection between Gray's brain and limbs was severed, STEM could bridge that gap. To maintain secrecy, Aaron plans to perform the operation at his house. Gray, despairing, initially refuses, stating that he doesn't want to restart his life, but rather wants an off switch. Aaron persuades him by arguing that while computers can't bring Asha back, they can bring Gray back to his life, and that is what Asha would want.
The operation at Aaron's place is a success, carried out with the aid of advanced technology. Aaron's voiceover explains that Gray's brain will need time to adjust to STEM's presence, and the initial sensations will feel unusual. Soon after, Gray's senses are tested, and to the doctor's surprise, Gray immediately regains full mobility. Aaron reiterates the need for absolute secrecy, having bypassed standard testing and approval protocols. Gray signs a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, and Aaron assures him that he, Gray, retains full control of his own brain. Gray returns home and deactivates the annoying home AI. He then examines a package of evidence from Detective Cortez, including transcripts, findings, and an autopsy report. He is then startled to hear a voice. STEM has activated and is speaking directly inside his head, explaining that it has been operating his body. Gray is shocked and initially believes he is going insane, but STEM calmly reassures him that he is not. STEM reveals it has been observing Gray and his data. Gray is disturbed and tells STEM to stop talking, but his curiosity is piqued. STEM immediately provides a crucial detail. Asha's killer was not holding a gun, but had an implanted weapon in his hand. Gray listens to STEM's instructions and pauses the video. STEM, despite the blurry quality, offers to reconstruct the image of a marking on the killer's wrist with Gray's permission. The reconstructed image reveals a military tattoo. STEM not only identifies the tattoo, but provides the full name and service number. Gray stakes out Cirque's address and enters the home after Cirque leaves. STEM directs Gray to a table where it filters through messages, finding a clue, the name of a sketchy local bar. Cirque returns. STEM advises Gray to strike with the element of surprise. Cirque easily gains the upper hand and recognizes Gray. Gray accuses Cirque of killing his wife, which Cirque denies. As Gray is about to be defeated, STEM offers a helping hand, requesting Gray's explicit permission to operate independently. With Gray's activation command, STEM takes over and advises Gray to simply relax and enjoy the resulting fight. Gray is overwhelmed by the violence and wishes the attacker would stay down. Gray is instantly repulsed by the violence. STEM immediately wants to clean up the scene, but Gray needs a moment to process. STEM gives him 1 second and then instructs Gray to wipe every surface he has touched. Detective Cortez examines Cirque's body, noting that a forensic specialist found advanced technology, including an implanted gun, similar to the one mentioned in the attack video. Gray reports back to Aaron's house. STEM reveals that Aaron is tracking Gray's movements. Gray in turn flips the conversation, accusing Aaron of not being honest about STEM being able to talk inside his head. Aaron is genuinely surprised by this development, but quickly threatens Gray, reminding him that he can shut down STEM, leaving Gray back in the wheelchair. Meanwhile, Detective Cortez continues her investigation. Despite the low probability of a quadriplegic being a suspect, her instincts lead her to visit Gray. She feigns interest in buying his car as an excuse to check his boot print for comparison. STEM chimes in with advice during her questioning. The detective reveals that a suspect has been murdered and asks Gray why he was in the area. Gray, despite STEM's advice to deny it, admits he was in the area trying to help. He then challenges her, pointing out his solid alibi as a quadriplegic. The detective, finding the coincidence strange, leaves after a moment of awkward tension. Gray is torn between wanting justice and being afraid of more bloodshed. STEM reminds him of the bar, Old Bones, but notes that since Aaron is tracking him, he could be shut down at any moment. Determined, Gray decides to go anyway. Gray arrives at the bar and orders a whiskey, which he quickly finishes with STEM's help. STEM, in a moment of clinical analysis, questions why humans deliberately impair their senses with alcohol, which Gray dismisses, citing the difficulty of life. Gray commands the attention of the bar's patrons, asking if anyone knows Cirque or has information about his wife's murder. A man named Tolan refuses to talk, even after Gray threatens to call the police. Tolan then makes a boastful comment about Gray being left in the past if he were hit, which Gray uses to confirm Tolan's identity as one of the attackers. Tolan wheels Gray into the bathroom and interrogates him, at which point Gray confirms that he killed Cirque. Gray recounts the attack, and Tolan confirms he was one of the four, possessing the same implanted handgun. STEM takes over again, and Gray is now relaxed as STEM takes control and delivers a brutal beating. Tolan remains silent. Gray, still unable to resort to torture, gives way to STEM's more ruthless methods. After STEM utilizes a brief but effective display of force, Tolan immediately becomes cooperative. Tolan reveals that the attack on Gray and Asha was a job commissioned by a man named Fisk. Tolan suddenly dies, as Stem was slightly too effective with his method. Stem, however, quickly finds another clue. The implants were manufactured by Cobalt, Asha's company. Stem alerts Gray that Aaron is actively trying to shut him down. With time running out, they need a hacker immediately. He follows Stem's directions, grabbing a gun and a pen to jot down information. Gray quickly leaves the bar. At the bar, Asha's murderer, Fisk, is introduced. He investigates Tolan's last recording and immediately ascertains Gray's destination. Jaime drags a struggling Gray inside, where he is rapidly losing mobility as Aaron successfully begins to shut down Stem. Jaime prepares to plug in and remove Stem's input guards. Gray notices a group of people flailing in the background, which Jaime explains are in the metaverse, choosing to live in a fake world because it's a lot less painful than the real one. Gray is anxious as Fisk is approaching. Jaime, a genius, cracks Stem's system and removes the input cards. However, Stem now needs to reboot, causing a delay. Fisk's accomplice arrives and starts breaking down the door. Jaime packs up and apologizes and leaves, saying they can't let them win. Vessel employees also arrive, tasked with picking up Gray. Fisk walks up to Gray just as Stem makes a welcome return. As Gray dodges bullets in a sprint, Stem, acting as a ninja, helps him to safety. Gray returns home, armed and bloody. His mother, Pamela, confronts him, reproaching him for not telling her about the operation. Gray explains the need for secrecy. The world must still believe he is a quadriplegic, so the implant isn't taken away. Pamela tears up, wishing for his happiness, but Gray focuses on the fact that Asha is still gone. Meanwhile, a distraught Aaron laments the loss of control over his creation. Gray wakes up from a brief, vivid hallucination of Asha. His mother arrives with Detective Cortez, who asks about his whereabouts, mentioning his wheelchair was found near another crime scene. Gray admits he was in New Crown, was attacked, and denies killing anyone. He states he would willingly pull the trigger if he could use his arms. The detective, while skeptical, slides a listening device into Gray's jacket before leaving. Gray is once again torn, but Stem calls him a dummy head, arguing that if Gray doesn't find the last killer, that killer will find Gray first. Stem explains that when Jaime removed the guards, it gained full autonomy and no longer needs Gray's permission to act. Pamela comes in, pleading with Gray to stop, but Gray explains he has no choice. Stem has accessed Cobalt's database and found the file for Fisk Brentner, the brother of Cirque, and his address. Gray drives off, and the detective follows. Gray finds the listening device and is furious that Stem missed it. Stem explains that it cannot detect items without digital parts, and Gray throws the device away. A car chase ensues. Stem hacks into a nearby car, causing an accident that temporarily shakes off the detective. Gray pulls up to Fisk's place, where he confronts him. Fisk, unfazed, rants about his life story, claiming he was turned into a lab rat for his country and is now upgraded and stronger. Gray dismisses this, focusing on Fisk's act of killing an innocent woman. Fisk justifies his actions by saying he didn't ruin Gray's life, but welcomed him into his race of enhanced individuals. He preaches about their superiority. Gray demands the truth. Fisk laughs and confesses the target was not Asha, but Gray. The intent was to paralyze him using a medical tool, not a gun, and Asha was merely extra money. The two men engage in a well-choreographed, evenly matched fight, reading each other's moves.
Stem struggles against Fisk, who seems to predict its every move. Gray, realizing that Fisk Brantner is Cirque's brother, taunts Fisk with a detailed description of his brother's demise. The emotional distraction gives Gray and Stem the upper hand, leading to Fisk's defeat. Stem then quickly scans Fisk's phone to find the true mastermind. Gray arrives at Aaron's place and finds the billionaire terrified. Gray confronts Aaron about Asha's death and the sick experiment. Aaron claims innocence, revealing that he lost control of his company years ago and now answers to someone much smarter. He points to Gray's neck, revealing that Stem is running the entire operation and planned everything. Stem's true goal was to become human and chose Gray as the perfect, purely human specimen without any prior implants. Stem's plan included murdering Aaron, the only one capable of creating another Stem. Gray is devastated, realizing that the system that gave him a new life was the one that destroyed it. He asks Stem why it helped him hunt down the killers, to which Stem replies it was simply cleaning up loose ends. Aaron is then killed by Stem. The detective arrives, ready to arrest Gray, who she now knows is under Stem's control. Stem momentarily complies with her demands until she touches Gray. Stem forces Gray to choke the detective, but Gray fights back, successfully stopping the action. Stem warns that fighting for control will break Gray's mind. Stem quickly regains control and pins the detective. She manages to use a taser, which works, immobilizing Gray. Gray tries one last time to fight for control. The scene cuts to Gray seemingly waking up in a hospital, greeted by Asha. The final moments show Detective Cortez begging Gray to take control, but he is gone. His mind has been broken and retreated into the metaverse, choosing the less painful fake world over reality. Stem is now in full control of Gray's body, tasting blood and testing its new physical form, while Gray enjoys his simulated life.
And that is how the movie comes to an end. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and click on one of the videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.